Abhida.
Tiredness, sadness, and feeling hopeless.
Someone's loss. Okay. Sadness. Yes. Uh, Poong. I hope I can call you Poong.
Yeah, yeah. So I feel anything which we feel a loss about, but not particularly even people. I felt grief
Hmm.
when I had my kid, and I felt I have lost my old way of life, and grief for that for some time. So I would say anything, a loss of anything which we are used to, and suddenly something happens newly, then I feel that it creates a grief in person.
Shweta.
It's a deep state of sadness. A person is like deeply losing yourself.
Hmm. Yes. Loss of person. Okay. Good. Shweta. Okay. Separation may also cause grief. Yes. Gorangi, you're on mute, I guess. Gorangi, you're not audible. I'm sorry. Priya.
Emotional suffering, someone's emotional suffering.
Okay. All right. Pretty close. Good. No, Gorangi, I'm so sorry. Your voice is not audible, despite your mic being on. It's okay. You can drop a text if your mic is not working. It's fine. Loss of loved ones. Okay. See, a lot of keywords associated to grief are sadness, pain, crying, loneliness, emptiness, anger too, right? But something interesting that you'll notice in a lot of clients that most of us immediately, not just the client but us also, we immediately associate grief with death, right? The very first thought in somebody's head would be like, if a client shows up and they're like, okay, I feel like I am sad, I'm not doing well, right? We are not going to associate to something as negative as death. But grief is very actively associated to death. All right. As therapists, however, we will discover that grief is so much more larger than what death is. Okay. Today's first task is to challenge our assumptions about what grief actually looks like. Okay. What is grief is that if grief is not about that, then what else do we grieve about? Most of you have answered it, but if you have had any experience with your clients recently, I would love to have more input on what do you associate with grief, if not just death. Yes, Aruna.
It could be, not only loss of a loved one, it could be if you lose your job, if it could be a divorce, or if you have, you lose your house, you're moving from one place to another. It could even be grief when you are, changing schools, like for a student, going from one school to another school. So grief can be so much more than just a loss of life or a loved one.
Definitely, yes. Thank you. Jinsi.
Thank you.
Yeah, during my session, I observed that for that client, the grief means the emptiness, nothing to hope. That feeling I felt about that grief in its extreme case.
Okay. All right. Pragya?
I just have a question that can we associate grief with like I had a client and उनके जैसे साथ के लिए कि there was some जमीन and because of that dispute the family members they were separated and now they are living in some another place though they have won the law but they are separated from the family now. So that woman came up and she cried in the session. Is that grief?
Do you think it is grief, first of all?
Actually, when she was explaining about that, she was quite happy that she got the Jameen, but she was like now everybody would say ki she is a bad woman, and another thing was ki she was having close ties with the family, and those ties were also separated from that, so she cried during that.
All right. Would anyone else like to answer Pragya's question here first?
Yeah, I would
Anjana,
attempt.
somewhere? Okay.
I would say that woman does have the grief of losing the closeness she had with her relationships, particularly. And also, when we are very close to someone, and even if we feel we got the right thing, we still feel might be we might have lost something to gain something. So that is the grief.
ഇവിടെയില്ലേ
Jinsei, are you trying to say
ഒരു
something?
മീറ്റിംഗിലാണ് ട്ടാ.
Jinsei. No worries. Okay. Yes, thank you so much, Poon. Thank you.
Yes, thank
Sanjana?
The grief could be, there are different reactions to grief. Grief need not only be crying. Grief reaction could be, sometimes anxiety, sometimes stress, and sometimes, anger, and sometimes relief. In this case, I would say it was partly relief that she won the case, but at the same time she had this grief of losing all her relations, and that she cannot be maintaining any relationship with them. So, and also guilt that somewhere she must have felt that I've got everything, I've won, and my close relatives, though they were my own relatives, exactly like Arjun felt when he was facing his relatives across the war, in the war. So that guilt would have also been there, and so that's why her reactions may be, not exactly grief alone, loss alone, but then all these things could have made her react the way she did.
Okay, thank you so much, Arman. Sanjana?
Yeah, hello. So I guess my client wasn't able to achieve the expectation that she, listed for herself. So that is also grief for her.
Okay. Yes, it is. Definitely it is. Soumya? Soumya?
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. You raised your hand. I thought you wanted to answer.
Right. This is more of like a clarification. I don't know if it comes under grief, but I just wanted to understand if it is grief. This is for one of a close friend of mine. Due to distress in the family, due to some incidents in the family, she has been dethroned as the favorite person. And there is somebody else now in that place, and she has taken that she has been pampered a lot right from childhood, and she was always kept on the pedestal, and now she's been dethroned by someone else, and she's not able to take that at all. She feels there is a complete loss of her self-esteem and even her identity. She has lost it. It looks as though she has lost her identity, and even when she talks it to out with us, I can feel that grief just coming out of her. Again, I'm not sure if this can be described as grief. So I felt it as grief, but I just want to reconfirm if this also comes under grief, because she says she has lost her self-respect and self-identity.
Yes.
So yes. So
Well, Soumya and Sirisha, I do completely agree with you. Grief of loss of identity also is a concept of grief only, right? So what grief basically in psychological terms would be is that it's an emotional response of losing something that is important to you. Now that something can be your own identity, a close relationship, a thing that was very close to you as well. Like for example, if we take a different side to that same property dispute situation. Now, maybe if she would have lost that property, but that property had something to do with her ancestral home, or with her parents, or with her family, right? She would have grieved that too, because that was probably her only association with her family now. Like for the people who have, for example, refugees, or for example, people before and after partition, all of that is again grief. All right, it is loss of something that you wanted for yourself, basically something important as your role, something important as your future, anything that gets impacted in your life and you are upset about it, you are grieving the loss of something important in your life. Okay, now that something can be anything that had some importance to you or to your loved one. So, which brings us to the understanding that can someone be grieving even when nobody has died? Yes?
Yes.
Someone can be grieving and nobody has died. Yes?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about invisible losses, right? We all know what losing something is like, but we have discussed about the losses that we can see, right? But what are the losses that we cannot see? The invisible losses. Anyone would like to answer here?
Loss of time.
Loss of?
Call it invisible loss. Time. And yeah, that could be an invisible loss. And if you're not, you don't know where time has gone. Most of them, just wonder, Are, how I'm in, the kids are grown up. And so those are invisible loss, things that you have not done, things that you wanted to do and have not done. Those are invisible laws. And then these things will definitely, we'll be grieving over it at a later stage, not at that point of time, because we are too busy raising the children, too busy working. We don't realize what we are really losing. For peace, we may, give up something, we make compromise and all. So those are invisible laws, I feel. At this stage of my life, I feel those are invisible laws. Yeah.
Atira?
Yes, ma'am. I think loss of childhood can be coming under this, may or may not be, but it is something which may not be regained. We'll never have that again, so that can come under. I think so. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Wonderful. Shweta?
As we recently discussed, I think loss of one's identity, as it happens in some cases, like a person has a bipolar disorder, he reaches his highs, he has his highs, and after that it is treated and they come back and they are normal now. But somehow they feel that their identity has been compromised. They are not the same person who were there before. So this loss is also kind of a prolonged loss, which sometimes results into grief also.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, Manisha. Wonderful. I believe there are some really wonderful answers in the chat as well. But yes, most of these are invisible losses. Invisible losses that can lead to grief. Okay. I'm just going to quickly share my screen
Purusha,
now.
I have an answer. See, when grief can affect your body conditions also, no? Like you may get headaches, fatigues, everything will go for a task, no? Can you hear me?
Yes, could you please come again?
Grief, when you have undergoing that grief, no? Like your body condition, health conditions also, sometimes it will deteriorate. You may have, fatigue, headaches, nausea. I'm asking.
Just give me 1 second. There is some problem I'm facing. Am I audible to everybody now?
Yeah, ma'am. You're audible.
Yes, Jayanti. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes, but you're talking about symptoms.
Yeah, I know. I know it's a symptom. I'm just asking you.
Mathapati, can you please mute yourself? I request everybody to please try to keep your camera on and your mic on mute. I request everybody that, please. Yes, Pragya.
I just wanted to answer Jayanti that the lady which I talked about, she actually came for migraine. And because even after medicine, she was not recovering much. Then she was sent to me as I was a psychologist. I was interning psychology over there. So she was suffering from migraine. When I got to know that she's suffering from grief, then I gave her the therapy and now she's been improving.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much for your addition, Pragya. All right, I'm sharing my screen now and then we will discuss with this conversation, okay? Just give me 1 second, please. Is the screen visible to everybody?
Yes, it is visible.
And am I audible?
You are.
Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Okay. So I'll be looking in my another screen now because this one is presenting, right? But my attention is all on all of you. Now talking about invisible griefs, I think there is one very important point that we all missed out upon, which is aging. Aging is one of the invisible griefs. When we talk about geriatric mental health,